Vanuatu Beach. A boundless ocean mirrors the sky, stretching to the horizon, a symphony of blue and light. Ambat stands on the shore, his pale skin reflecting the sun, his elongated head silhouetted against the endless expanse. With a subtle, commanding gesture, Ambat raises his hand, a silent decree over the tranquil waters. Islands begin to rise from the ocean's depths, majestic forms woven from the very fabric of the sea. The sand shifts beneath Ambat's feet, a silent testament to the raw power he commands. Newly formed landmasses disrupt the waves, altering the serene rhythm of the ocean in Vanuatu. Inside the hut, Ambat begins the skin-shedding ritual, a transformation both sacred and unsettling. His skin peels away, layer by layer, like a serpent discarding its past. Beneath the old, a renewed Ambat emerges, stronger, his eyes gleaming with newfound power. The air crackles with anticipation as the brothers watch, their expressions a mix of envy and awe. Each brother yearns for the strength Ambat now possesses, a silent desire hanging heavy in the air. Deep in the jungle, Ambat's brothers begin the skin-shedding ritual, their faces etched with hope and anticipation. A sudden, sharp intake of breath as the ritual falters. The skin refuses to detach, binding them cruelly. Agony contorts their features, a silent scream trapped within. Decay begins to manifest visibly. The jungle watches, an indifferent witness to their suffering and the profound consequences of their failure. A somber proclamation echoes. Their mistake has doomed humanity to mortality. Inside the hut, a woman cradles her newborn, its round head a stark contrast to the elders' worried faces. Concern hangs heavy as elders retrieve cloth and a wooden board, their purpose grimly clear. They begin the ancient, painful process, gently binding the child's head, correcting a perceived flaw. The child cries softly, an innocent victim of tradition, as the elders reshape its destiny. Sunlight pierces the craft hut's walls, illuminating an artisan amidst dancing dust motes. Weathered hands meticulously shape vegetable paste and fiber, crafting a rampant effigy. Pigments stain the effigy, intricate patterns echoing the deceased's life. Each stroke honors the departed, a second skin taking form under the artisan's touch. The artisan's brow furrows in concentration, striving to trick the universe with his craft. He loses himself in the details, each layer a whisper to the spirit world. Under the open sky, a burial ground hosts a solemn ceremony, heavy with tradition and respect. The ramp, an ornate vessel, embodies the community's hopes for the departed. Gently, the vessel is placed in its sacred resting place, a focal point of spiritual energy. Unspoken prayers fill the air, a collective wish for the soul's journey through the afterlife. The community stands united, their silent vigil, a testament to enduring beliefs. Dust swirls as missionaries, in simple robes, enter the village square, wooden crosses held high, faces full of earnest hope. Their voices echo, preaching of Ambat as a precursor to Christ, a divine lawgiver. The air is thick with anticipation. Villagers gather, a mix of curiosity and suspicion etched on their faces as the missionaries speak of salvation. Skeptical glances are exchanged. Hands instinctively reach for traditional talismans, a silent clash of beliefs. Sunlight paints the rustic church through stained glass as a missionary preaches. Sweat glistens on the missionary's brow as he gestures wildly, a figure labeled "AWAS" in hand. Villagers, young and old, listen intently, their faces a canvas of confusion and curiosity. Subtle glances are exchanged as the villagers grapple with unfamiliar, clashing beliefs. The crudely drawn figure of AWAS looms, a stark representation of the Christian devil. Ancestral beliefs meet new dogma under the watchful gaze of stained glass saints. On a beach bathed in the eerie glow of a bonfire, Elders gather, their faces canvases of time, etched by sun, sea, and secrets. The ocean's roar provides a somber soundtrack as Elder One speaks, his voice heavy with concern. The missionaries speak of a new God. Elder Two counters, his gaze fixed on the flames. But what of Castum? It has guided us for generations. Their words sow discord. Elder Three laments, his silhouette stark against the firelight. Our children are drawn to their promises. Elder Four's weathered face reflects resolve. We must find a way to reconcile the old and the new. The bonfire crackles, casting long, dancing shadows. A silent witness to the elders' struggle to preserve their heritage. In the heart of the jungle, Ambat's brothers dig, their brows glistening with sweat as they carve a deep pit. Sharpened bamboo stakes are carefully placed, their points glinting like hidden daggers in the dappled sunlight. With practiced hands, they weave branches and leaves, concealing their deadly work with deceptive artistry. The jungle floor now hides a lethal trap, camouflaged into an innocent patch of green. In the heart of the jungle, Ambat lies impaled, his face a canvas of pain, a testament to a cunning trap. His lifeblood stains the earth as he gathers the dregs of his strength, his eyes reflecting generations of wisdom. With a voice weakened yet resonant, he begins to dictate the Castum, sacred laws for the afterlife. His final breaths weave a legacy, guiding his people as the jungle watches, silent and still. A soul floats in the luminous spiritual realm, drawn towards the guardian of the afterlife. Lehevhev, serene and wise, kneels on shimmering ground, preparing a ritual. With focused intent, Lehevhev meticulously draws a complex sand pattern. The sand glitters as the intricate design takes shape, a fleeting masterpiece. In a deliberate act, she sweeps her hand, erasing half of the pattern. In the silent spiritual realm, an incomplete sand pattern fades into nothingness, awaiting the soul's touch. Eyes closed, the soul gathers inner strength, preparing to redraw the missing half from the depths of memory. Determination lights their face, a resolve to face the ultimate test. Hesitation flickers. A delicate balance between confidence and the fear of failure threatens to break the calm. Each grain of sand is a test of their spirit. A broken line means failure. Souls face the volcanic underworld of Ambram, a fiery landscape of judgment. Failure means consumption by the unforgiving earth. Only the worthy may proceed. Those who succeed in the sand drawing become the line, their fate sealed. They walk through the drawing and into the land of the dead, a journey's end. Night falls on the village as drums beat a primal rhythm, their echoes resonating in the darkness. Figures in stark white Tamit masks emerge, their painted faces inhuman under the flickering bonfire light. A frenzied dance begins, fueled by raw energy as the masked men move with convulsive intensity. They channel the chaotic power of the dead, their ritual a stark enforcement of the living's laws. The air vibrates with chanting, a wild, ancient ceremony unfolding under the watchful eyes of the night. Sunlight illuminates dust in the hut as a ninim nervously hovers over sand, observed by a wise elder and gathered villagers. The sand drawing test, a trial by which a ninim proves its worth. Failure condemns it to a darker fate. The ninim's ethereal fingers falter, the sand shifting into chaos. A collective gasp fills the hut. With the ninim's failure, its ramp shatters into dust. Fear ripples through the community. Without guidance, the ninim risks becoming a man-bush, a lost spirit, a danger to all. An ethereal glow permeates the jungle night, cast by phosphorescent fungi clinging to the trees. The forest floor is illuminated by the cold light of the ancients, souls returned from the underworld. These lights represent the completion of a cycle, a return to the man-bush as pure energy. The jungle breathes with the ethereal glow of countless ancient souls, a silent, luminous testament. Dim light flickers inside the nakama, casting long, dancing shadows on the woven walls. Men gather on mats, their faces illuminated by the soft, warm glow of oil lamps. A sense of reverence fills the air as they prepare for the ancient ritual. At the center, a large wooden bowl brims with kava, its earthy aroma permeating the space. Before drinking, each man spills a few drops onto the earth, a handshake to the ancestors. The spirits gather at the threshold, unseen, to listen as the ancient rite commences. Under the volcano's eerie glow, a lone practitioner sits cross-legged, his silhouette stark against the molten backdrop. His eyes are glazed, lost in a kava-induced trance, a gateway to the spiritual realm. From his still form, a ninim, a spiritual projection rises, drawn towards Ambrim's fiery depth. The ninim journeys to the departure lounge, a realm where the departed find rest. The spirit seeks out departed kin, a spectral messenger in a volcanic purgatory. It seeks guidance from ancient ancestors in the heart of the volcano. Lush green jungle foliage encroaches, slowly reclaiming the village. The manbush stands silent, a stark symbol of inevitable entropy. Ambat's fall seals the village's fate. The wild prevails, completing the cycle of creation and entropy. Vanuatu is a Melanesian nation, rich in ancient traditions and beliefs. The land holds deep spiritual significance for its people. This spiritual connection profoundly shapes the lives of Vanuatu's inhabitants. The customs and practices are closely tied to the land's spiritual essence. Slit gongs, a ting-ting, are monumental carved logs used as musical instruments. They produce deep, resonant tones when struck. These gongs symbolize the community's collective soul. They also represent the community's connection to its ancestors. The slit gong sound acts as a conduit between the living and ancestral realms. This sound carries the ninim, representing the soul's intellect. The ninim journeys from the village of the living to the realm of the ancestors. This transmission effectively bridges the gap between these two distinct worlds. Therefore, the slit gong facilitates spiritual communication. Rampa-ramp effigies are life-sized representations of high-ranking men. These effigies are created to embody the physical presence of ancestors. They allow the ancestors to remain symbolically active within the village. The effigies serve as a focal point for rituals and community memory. Vegetable paste is carefully applied to the skull. Fiber is meticulously added to the skull structure. The paste and fiber recreate the likeness of the deceased. This reconstruction process aims to restore the individual's appearance. The reconstruction is believed to anchor the soul to the physical realm. This practice connects the spiritual and material aspects of the deceased. The rampa-ramp serves as the soul's ultimate connection point. It facilitates the transformation of an ancestor from a transient ghost. The transformation results in a permanent, living presence. This presence is integrated into the village's sacred divine structure. The creation of a rampa-ramp is an exclusive practice within the Nimanki society. This privilege is strictly reserved for men. Only those who have ascended to the highest ranks within the society are eligible. This restriction underscores the hierarchical structure of the Nimanki society. The rampa-ramp serves as a symbol of status and achievement within this framework. The ninim is located within the elongated cranium of the human body. It serves as a repository for various forms of knowledge and cultural heritage. Sand drawings are stored within the ninim, potentially representing artistic or symbolic expressions. Genealogies, or family histories, are also preserved in the ninim. Sacred songs, integral to cultural or spiritual practices, are kept within the ninim as well. Upon death, the ninim soul begins a spiritual journey. This journey is guided by the sound of the slit gongs. The ninim must navigate puzzles set by the guardian Lehavhev. The ultimate destination is the sky Nakamal. The Ninim is often represented as a shadow. It can also be depicted as a cool breeze. These representations symbolize the Ninim's journey. The journey is to join ancestors in the volcanic underworld. This journey is purposeful and significant. The tamate is composed of earthly desires and attachments. It lingers near the gravesite, bound to its former life. The tamat also remains close to the house, clinging to familiar surroundings. This lingering presence is driven by unresolved earthly connections. Tamate are spiritual entities that can interact with the living world. Unmanaged tamate can negatively impact the life force of individuals. This eating of life force leads to misfortune and illness. The tamate's influence often reflects unresolved emotional or spiritual attachments. These attachments create a link through which the tamate can exert its influence. Managing these attachments is crucial to mitigating the tamate's negative effects. A nakamal is a traditional meeting place, often used for ceremonial purposes. Burning green wood within the nakamal produces smoke. This smoke is believed to carry mana, a spiritual life force or energy. The mana is associated with the ninim, ancestral spirits or deities. The smoke rises and permeates the rafters of the nakamal. Soot-blackened ancestor figures are positioned in the rafters, symbolically receiving the mana. The nakamal's interior is deeply intertwined with ancestral veneration. Its soot-covered surfaces symbolize the skin of the ancestors. This symbolic skin preserves the spiritual essence of those who came before. It acts as a tangible link connecting the living members of the community. This connection extends beyond the present, reaching into the realm of the dead. Thus, the nakamal serves as a focal point for spiritual continuity and remembrance. Death is viewed as a form of advancement or promotion to a spiritual realm. Entry into the afterlife requires spiritual currency. This currency is earned through sacrifices made during life. Sacrifices, such as tusked boars, are intended to appease the guardians of the afterlife. Following burial, the deceased enters a liminal state. This state is characterized by being neither fully present nor completely gone. The deceased remains in this transitional phase. This continues until a specific ritual is performed. Specifically, the skull must be retrieved. The skull is then used to create the ramp. In the spiritual underworld, specific actions can bind a spirit to that realm. Consuming the food of the underworld is one such action. This act solidifies the spirit's presence in the underworld. Specifically, eating underworld food prevents the ninim spirit from returning to the realm of the living. The consumption acts as a spiritual barrier, trapping the spirit. Circular pig tusks represent a man's spiritual mana. This transformation is achieved by removing the upper canine teeth. Removing upper canines allows the lower tusks to grow unimpeded. The lower tusks are allowed to grow in a circular fashion. Eventually, the tusks pierce the jaw, completing the circle and symbolizing spiritual attainment. The soul confronts Lehev, a female guardian spirit. Lehevhev presents a sand-drawing puzzle to the soul. The puzzle's solution requires specific knowledge. This knowledge is acquired through sacrificing tusked boars. Artificial cranial deformation, ACD, also known as head binding, is a cultural practice. ACD involves intentionally reshaping an infant's skull. The practice aims to align the child with a specific cultural ideal. Specifically, it is intended to reflect a blueprint of the universe.